Excellent. Let's begin. This support video is to support your learning for Asynchronous Day 13. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown on what is expected for not only today's study, but this list will take us straight through the weekend. That's why the list is a little bit more robust. We do have a TED Talk coming up. This TED Talk, our second focused TED Talk, which is called Not Yet. But that video I think we're going to watch together in class on Monday. So that was on our work list from yesterday, and we scheduled that we're going to push it. But actually, I've decided to continue to push it because we really need to keep focused on our reading and writing for this weekend. And also, I really want you to put in a solid chunk of review for learning check number 2, which will happen on Thursday next week. Some of you have talked to me, you might have some schedule conflicts with that, but we'll work it out and we'll make sure that you have enough time to complete the learning check. Okay, let's go through the list quickly, and I'll just talk about each point a little bit to support you effectively completing these. So first of all, I'll be sending out an email in a minute with this task list and with the videos, support videos that help you for analysis. So those will be available. But of course, as we've established already, we want you to read the instructional email carefully. Point B on the list here. In a minute, I'm going to make a little set of videos to support how we can take our analysis deeper. Now, the motivation for this comes out of having some students talk to me yesterday at the end of class and asking, how do you make the connections and kind of make the jumps? It seems to sometimes be that I'm jumping across these big gaps of logic, but there's definitely a connection there. And there's actually a specific method that I use particularly to do analysis. So I will go through that in a minute. So I'll ask you to watch the 2 support videos. And of course, as usual, while you're watching, you should be taking Cornell notes to lock down the knowledge. These support videos qualify as mini lectures. If we were in class, they'd be happening as a Google slide presentation with me talking as usual. So things like this, these support videos, also might show up on learning check number 2. Okay, moving into item C here on our list, we want you to continue practicing your reading and not just kind of pushing on to try to make your page limit, but we want to go back and do some close reading, which is like the reading that we did in class yesterday. So in specific, you can choose chapter 6, 7, or 10. And if you're feeling ambitious, try to do 2 of them. And what we'll actually be asking you to do is to read through them, looking for all of the different levels of literary devices and identifying them. That's the first step, right? So now remember, we have our beta window, the beta window of our beta lens or beta level of analysis, we can use those terms interchangeably, is looking at things like the setting, the characters, the conflicts. This is the core elements of the story. So you're dealing with the plot, the players, and what's happening, what's pulling the story forward. Then we move into the alpha level of analysis, or the alpha lens, or the alpha window, whatever you want to call it. Again, those terms are synonyms. And that's where we're starting to look at these more challenging devices, which I think Kogawa uses masterfully. Those are things like alliteration, simile, metaphor, personification, symbolism is starting to become a big one. And we'd put that symbolism device into the alpha category. And then finally, we go to the omega level. Now, omega is things like the themes, things like irony, foreshadowing, and yeah, you want to look for those elements too. So when we read, we want to be trying to capture this knowledge. And additionally, then once you've completed identifying them, we'll go to that next step where you actually try to analyze them. Not just, oh, there it is, but so we start with the what, that's the identification. Then we go to the how and the why. So how is the author setting them up or making them relevant to her novel? And then also, why do we think the author has chosen to make these connections or these specific comparisons? But I'll get a little bit more into the details of that in the support videos. So we're asking you to complete an analysis framing chart today. So you can see that I've got that highlighted here. It's like the one that I had up on the overhead in class, and it'll actually be attached to the bottom of this task list. So you can fill it out directly on this Word document, or you can write it in your notes. Some of you like to use your little your little iPad devices or Chromebook devices, whatever works for you. You can use a system where you can draw it physically, but your job is to try and capture those three levels and then start that analysis piece like we did in class yesterday. Okay, excellent. Now, it's important for you to note that you're responsible for analyzing at least one chapter, and you're going to use the analysis framing chart to capture your findings. And then on Monday, when you come into class, I will check that. And this, you completing that work will become your first homework check mark for our Obasan research essay. So just like we've been checking the progress of you writing your comparison and contrast essay about the two short stories, additionally, as we move into the Obasan research essay, I'm going to be collecting a whole bunch of homework checks. I believe there are probably going to be 10 of them in total. So staying current with this day-by-day work is really a powerful way for you to bump your grade up, because remember, it's just showing me that you've done the work. You've attempted the work. It doesn't even have to be perfectly done. We want you to do your best, of course, and put time into it, but showing me that you're staying current with the work will earn you points towards your essay score. On the flip side, if you do not do the work, this will kind of have a negative impact on your final result of your essay. So you can imagine if there's 10 homework checks, that'll become 10 points on your essay, right? So that'll become a fairly significant chunk of your mark. Okay, so we're moving into item D here. So obviously we know that the learning check is coming up next Thursday. This is learning check number 2. It's kind of like our second unit test. And I did briefly touch on the sections and what to expect in class yesterday. So if you're not sure about that, you can always double check my teaching notes. I'll make sure they're posted under week 7 from Wednesday's class. So you can go back and look at what I mentioned about our specific sections. So this weekend you should put in some time, and I'd say, you're looking at hopefully 30 minutes to an hour of review each day. So that should be today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That therefore on Monday you'll be ready, and we might actually do a little bit of a review game where I'll put you into teams and then I'll call out questions and you'll try to write down the answers with your team, and we'll practice and kind of help to prepare you for the learning check. So we're getting a little bit more active in our learning, which I think is a positive thing. Good. So study and review, review and study, use your study cards. You can contact your study buddies if you want, and start to be active in your study process. Excellent. Now we're moving into item E on our list. This is the writing section. So as you know, we're doing these parallel or layered learning goals right now. We have our reading going on. We're doing analysis work, which falls under the critical thinking band of our learning goals. You can go back to the syllabus and see that critical thinking is a very crucial part of our learning for grade 12 English or for English 067. Additionally, we're also working on that reading level, but we've got the writing level going at the same time. So we want to stay focused on that too. So your goal over the course of the weekend, so that's from today until Monday, you're wanting to complete main body paragraphs 2 and 3 for our C&C essay that is focused on short stories. So essentially this means when we come to class on Monday, your essay should be 80% done. And I'm hoping that during Monday's class, we'll have a chance to do our conclusion paragraph, how to set that up and how to write that. Now also, I'm going to be writing my essay later today, so I will complete my main body paragraphs 2 and 3. I'm not going to do a video on those because I already did a video on main body paragraph 1, but what I will do is I will put up a draft of the first draft of my essay up to that point so that you can read through it and check it if you want. And maybe I'll do a video of me just reading through, not really kind of giving the discrete explanations, but just reading through, because I know some of you prefer to absorb data through listening, which is totally cool. Different learners should leverage their strengths, right? Okay, so yeah, this is also relevant for us to notice that continuing with our homework points, you will complete these 2 paragraphs for Monday. And again, so that'll be 2 more points towards that overall list of points for this first essay. Okay, wonderful. So that's the learning schedule for today and the weekend. Good luck. You can always email me if you need support. Fly at her.